And right now, a new study says, and it's not me, it's not Shay, but a study says Duval just isn't that exciting. I'm Ben Beck.
And I'm Shay Simon in for Tanika. I'm new, so I'm going to sit this one out. In fact, they ranked Jacksonville as the most boring city in the U.S. Action News Jack's Jake Stofan is live on the South Side. And Jake, when you actually talked to people today, they didn't seem too surprised.
Well, and if the authors of this study had their way, Jacksonville may be known not as the bold, but the boring new city of the South. And while many of the local residents we spoke with agreed Jacksonville may be a bit lackluster when it comes to things like entertainment, they also said they believe the city has a lot of potential. When stacked up against the country's 75 most populous cities, Jacksonville came in dead last, earning the undesirable title of most boring city in the U.S., according to a new survey. The survey looked at 5 key factors, including population makeup, culinary scene, outdoor activities, nightlife, and things to do. Jacksonville local Zach Lee agreed with the city being dubbed the most boring, especially when it comes to nightlife.
I have a kid, so I don't really go to the nightlife like that, but even when it was the nightlife, it's just a bunch of ratchet people out there, so I don't really like to go.
Others like Shanice Williams and Atha Diaz had a more optimistic outlook, arguing the city has a lot of potential to grow.
We could get an aquarium, let's get more, there's a lot more nightclubs, we need more themes in Jacksonville to pursue.
But it's time to change. There's a lot of space for changes here.
Katie Matura with Visit Jacksonville definitely disagrees with Jacksonville's ranking.
I don't think that any of these surveys really do a due diligence for the city or tell the story of the city.
She also noted Jacksonville's culinary scene and nightlife, the 2 categories where the city scored the lowest, are the same areas where Visit Jacksonville is actively working to flip the script.
So it's so funny that this came out now because we're about 6 months into a really hard sell on those things. And so I think that we'll see a change if the survey happens again in a year or 2.
Matura notes when you consider Jacksonville's strengths, like its beaches, fishing, and other outdoor activities, perhaps this study just wasn't designed with Jacksonville in mind.
Is that something that makes us boring? Okay, maybe. But is that something that we all love? Yes.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you what I love is the aquarium idea. Now, Jacksonville was not the only Florida city that was decidedly boring as a result of this study. Tallahassee came in as the number 9 most boring city in the country. I've spent quite a few years in both Jacksonville and Tallahassee, so I'm not sure what that says about me. But Florida also had some highlights. Orlando and Miami were both in the top 5 most interesting cities in the U.S. So whether you agree or disagree with that, that's up to you. For local coverage you can count on live on the South Side, I'm Jake Stofan, Action News Jax.
And Jake, I just got a response from Mayor Deegan about the study, and she said, quote, "This is an uninformed study that doesn't take into account the significant progress being made to develop downtown and ensure Jacksonville is a place where young people choose to plant roots." So that's what she had to say about that. Jake, thank you so much. So no surprise, we got a lot of reactions about this on social media. People pretty split about things. So Duval Dole. All right, here we go. So David Miller says, nothing happens unless there's a game or a concert. It is a ghost town during the week. Step it up, Jax. All right, okay. Well, Steven says, if you're not on a boat, there's nothing to see here. That's pretty negative. Well, how about some positivity? Audrey says, it absolutely is fine for people who don't know where to look. So there's things to do, okay? And finally, JT says, I've lived there for 3 years when I was stationed down there, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It's still got beautiful weather, good beaches, good food, and I never ran out of stuff to do. Thank you, JT.